It's the first waveform in a book that comes from the manufacturer, or a workshop that you go to. I would say it is far and away the most popular waveform out there, and has been for a good 20 years. The reason is because it is a very comfortable waveform that allows you to treat deep tissue, again, very comfortable. And the fundamental principle or unique nature of it is you're setting up a field. You're not putting an electrode directly over the targeted site. You're surrounding the targeted site. Okay? And again, I don't know how much you guys have already delved into this, but the reason it's called interferential interference is because you've got two channels, channel 1 and 2, that are interfering with each other. Okay, so when you set up the electrodes, you've got, so for example,
now you've got the weight of the lead pulling on this as these start to wear out.
Yeah, so the term interferential means that you've got two channels that are interfering with each other, or they're crossing paths. Okay, and it actually goes way back. I mean, it's actually, and some of it's, there's a lot of this stuff that still has a pretty strong theoretical foundation. No one's doubting that something's being invented.
Before you place the electrodes,
if there's any conceptual challenge at all, it's just more like, well, why is it doing that? Why is it helping? Well, I don't know.
Right? Where is it? Okay.
It just seems, it just is. So if somebody really wants to delve into it, I want to know exactly what it's doing. Now, when you're jumping quickly here, one of the reasons, though, it might be helpful every now and then, back to what I said before about cognitive interest, is that to understand, especially in tensor, I do happen to believe that it's important for a patient to understand one of the most popular theories about why a TENS unit helps with pain. It's not the only one, but it is very popular, and that is the so-called gate theory, that you're shutting the gate. You're just killing the messenger to your brain. That's all you're doing. Yeah, the so-called gate theory, the pain is hitting here, it's registering in your brain, obviously, I'm shutting the gate, so it won't register. There's another theory about endorphin release and all this stimulation. Again, but I would say the most popular one is the gate theory. You will have lots of patients who will want to know, before they're even willing to embrace some of these modalities, I want to know what is it doing? Share with them some of the theory, again, but neither you nor I are actually doing these double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled studies, so we don't have first-hand knowledge. The evidence seems to be the most popular one.
You're going to place the electrodes like it shows.
So again, there's still a lot of theory about it, but the bottom line is, so here's channel 1.
And that's not incorrect.
Let's say the area is here.
Clinically, this is just how I approach it.
Channel 1, and again, you can get into anode versus cathode, positive, negative placement, how their current is flowing, but I'm not going to do that right now. So here's channel 1, from here to here, diagonally opposed. And I'll just pretend here's channel 2. Diagonally opposed. Boom, boom. I'm circling the hole. It's called quad polar because you're setting up 4 poles. Okay, and so it's where the 2 channels meet. So obviously, you have to have 2 points to complete a circuit, right? So you got to have 2 points. So these points are running to each other to complete their circuit because they're related to each other. They got to run through this area. Channel 2 has got to run through that area. It's where the 2 meet. And we don't need to spend a lot of time on this either, but what's happening is, so it's medium frequency. Quad polar is medium frequency, very comfortable, okay? But here comes one channel at 5,000 hertz. The other channels coming through at 5,200 hertz. Now some machines are doing 4,042, but it doesn't matter. It's the difference between the 2 channels that is theoretically deposited where they meet. Okay, so it's 200 hertz. But if you try to take 200 hertz, which is a low frequency therapeutic value or point, and tried to drive it deep into the tissue, your patient would not like you at all. And you're not going to achieve what your goal was to alleviate pain. Okay, so that's basically how it works. It's the difference between the two channels that is deposited in the tissue, and again, because you're going through a medium frequency route, which is very comfortable. But then it's the difference between the two. So that's how you do it. It's like, wow, that's a trick. It is kind of a trick.
Joe, can you touch again on the frequencies between?
I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah. So again, if someone says, okay, there's been established a protocol that says a, relatively speaking, low frequency goal of 200 hertz or cycles per second has a therapeutic value. However, how do we get that delivered deep into tissue without creating a lot of pain, just by driving it through? Oh, here's a trick. An electrotherapeutic trick. In many ways, that is exactly what it is. You're tricking the body. I'm taking a medium frequency, 5,000 hertz, which is very comfortable, and just interfering the two. And it's where they interfere, they kind of like, it's the difference between the two is what is the net deposit.
And what's a good number for that? The net, I mean the difference. What's a good number? You said
200.
200. Oh, okay, but you said 200 was too much.
No,
If
no.
you do it straight.
If you did it straight, yeah. If
You
I
just
tried
took
to take
200 and just went
an electrode
center
directly over
right over it.
you'd be very unhappy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so she should for many reasons.
So
But
like 5,000, 5,000, are we in hertz? 5,000 hertz, 4,800 hertz. The difference is 200.
correct, correct.
So one electrode would be 5,000, one
difference-
electrode would be 4,800.
Correct, and by design, this is all controlled microprocessing.
You don't set that?
No,
No,
it's preset. It's the nature of the waveform. It's the nature of what's coming out of the bot. Now the only difference, and it doesn't really matter to you, because the net deposits results in the same. Some manufacturers generate 4,000 out of one and 4,200 out of the other, but I'm pretty sure Richmar does 5,000 and 5,200.
So just by picking the type of waveform is
Right,
what gives you the
absolutely. So, back to understanding the waveforms and going to the box, understanding what's going to come out. You got to understand that because the parameters are waveform specific. So, choose the waveform always, always, always first, because that will dictate what parameters you can choose. And you'll find out in a minute when we get to Russia. There's a unique nature and parameters to Russia that don't change the parameters and then change the waveform, because you might just wipe out whatever parameters because they can't do that. Okay, so always understand the waveform or why you're going to it first. So again, quad polar interferential, what's the primary, most popular reason you're going to it?
So, you want to just hit this?
Well, what's the main, what are you trying to address? Pain.
Yeah.
Pain.
So it would
That's number
eliminate
one.
pain via the
Trying to eliminate pain.
Okay, so you guys have your electrodes
That's
on
number
now?
one, which is why it's the number one choice for the first time someone's been treated with electrotherapy. It's very
And
comfortable.
you know what she's doing, she's being
Very
mindful of your
comfortable
hair.
waveform
So I have
for
patients
pain.
who will actually shave up in here to get.
And does it have
so
lasting
the hair
effects?
gets to the pain.
You relieve the pain for a while, you leave it.
Not really, not really. You know, people,
Okay,
when I say lasting, next thing you know, people are thinking curative and they just want to get into this stuff.
So this
No,
is,
I
you know,
would
when
say
they
if
use it at
anything,
home, they'll have the
my
leads
philosophy
already
is,
built in.
I don't care
find
what's
it
coming
just
out of the
less
box, for the most
tangling
part.
to-
Lasers are another
to do
topic,
it this way.
which we won't get into today,
And
cold
you're gonna
lasers.
attach your leads.
But for the most part, it's a
Does the red
stepping
pin
stone
and the
to
black
help
pin
people
matter?
get to something that's more active.
Okay.
A passive stepping stone to get to something that's
Yeah,
more active.
it's a
Again,
positive,
that,
negative
again,
thing,
don't
but in
take that
terms of
100%, but I'm
placement,
just,
it does not
I
matter.
think that that's a very
There's no polarity
common and a
in
pretty
a
healthy
tensile.
approach
So,
to.
for instance, what would be something more active?
Well, just
It's a
literally
nice
getting the patient more
visual,
active.
Okay.
so
But
when
maybe
a
they don't
patient's
want to
using
do
it at
range of
home,
motion exercises because
right,
they
and
aren't
they're
too
trying
darn
to
much.
target a
So it's their shoulder.
If you have
And
a
they've
knee
got two
replacement
leads,
patient,
they
you
know that
put
this
them on
one's
this
over
and
on this
eyes,
side, and this one's over there.
or
and
this
then
and
you've got
key,
the place.
and then afterwards a
But
lot of
it
them
really
are
is
more
just
willing
a-
to let you take them
Just
for
a way of
motion.
distinguishing.
Whereas
black
before they
versus
hurt
white.
so bad because their knee's been cut open, hacked in half, hammered
You're
together,
already
and
hooked
put
up.
together.
So, and when you guys are hooked up.
Would you perform the range of motion as the tens, as the machine's on?
Just took over. So again, yeah, quad polar is so, and I always I keep saying this, but as we move across the screen here, what's that?
You use them less as you move across the
Well, kind of, but the reason that people often don't do quad polar
Okay, So when you look
it's
at that sort of, what
is
your
only
goals
when
are,
it comes to pain management
not
is
having
because
surgery,
maybe there's some
not having
reason they
pain
just can't get 4 electrodes to surround the
sensory
area.
level.
I want to surround that area, but I just can't do it. Either the size of the electrodes or maybe there.